Hello and welcome to the first ever fish gallery of Subcontinent on YouTube. Coming up, why even set up an aquarium? Types of aquariums, the parrot cichlid, the giant cichlid tank, and the gallery tour. इस चैनल पे ना सिर्फ आपको एक्वेरियम रखना, उसको मेंटेन करना, उसके बैकग्राउंड्स बनाना सिखाएंगे, but we will also be featuring exotic saltwater and freshwater fish. साथ ही साथ we will be featuring tanks from our own gallery and those of our subscribers. We will be reviewing them in depth and also giving them about the fish score. So hit that subscribe button and join the journey now. आप में से बहुत से लोगों ने एनिमल प्लैनेट, डिस्कवरी, किसी दोस्त के पास या किसी फिश स्टोर में फिश तो जरूर देखी होगी। उनके अमेजिंग कलर्स और उनकी पर्सनैलिटीज को देख के आपने सोचा होगा कि यार एक हम भी रख लेते, और शायद ले भी ली होगी। फिर 4-5 महीने बाद बहुत सी फिश मरने के बाद आपने हॉबी से तौबा की होगी और वापस कुत्ते बिल्ली की तरफ माइल हो गए होंगे। दिस इज बिकॉज यू आर डूइंग इट रॉन्ग। पाकिस्तान और इंडिया में जिस तरह फिश कीपिंग की जाती है वैसे होनी नहीं चाहिए और वैसे होती नहीं है। अगर आपको बेसिक्स आती हो और बेसिक्स अप्लाई करनी आती हो, दिस कैन बी द मोस्ट रिवॉर्डिंग हॉबी इन योर लाइफ। ये हॉबी पिछले 10 सालों में काफी मेन स्ट्रीम हो चुकी है। एक अंदाजे के मुताबिक अमेरिका में 10% या उससे भी ज्यादा घरों में मरीन लाइफ या कोई ना कोई फिश मौजूद है। इसकी वजह एक्वेरियम्स और इक्विपमेंट में एडवांसमेंट, मेडिसिन की अवेलेबिलिटी, इंटरनेट और बहुत सी रिसर्च जो कि आपको बुक्स के फॉर्म में मिल जाएगी। आज जो इस हॉबी का हाल है वो आज से 10 साल पहले से 1000 गुना बेहतर है, जिसकी वजह से यू कैन हैव अ मोर फुलफिलिंग एक्सपीरियंस विद दिस हॉबी। सबसे बड़ी गलती जो लोग करते हैं वो मार्केट गए, फिश ली, टैंक लिया, फिल्टर लिया, पानी में फिश फेंकी और उसको 3-4 दिन एंजॉय करते हैं। 5वें दिन जब फिश मरना शुरू होती है तो उनके हाथ पैर फूल जाते हैं और वापस फिश स्टोर के पास जाते हैं पैसे वापस मांगने। So here we are going to show you with the right practices and the right equipment how you can make this hobby really worthwhile. The aquarium hobby is the best use of your free time. ये ऐसे ही है कि दरिया या समंदर के अंदर जाके वहाँ की environment का एक छोटा सा हिस्सा शीशे के डब्बे में बंद करके घर लें। Aquariums की different types हैं, जैसे freshwater aquarium, saltwater aquarium या reef tanks। एक और टाइप का aquarium होता है जिसे कम से कम मैं aquarium नहीं मानता, और वो है आपका traditional देसी aquarium जो बजरी और बच्चों के खिलौने वाले सबस्ट्रेट के साथ आता है। जो इसमें चीजें अवेलेबल हैं वो नेचर नहीं है, दैट इज अ कमर्शियल इमिटेशन ऑफ नेचर, बिकॉज फिश नीड अ सॉफ्ट सैंड सबस्ट्रेट और an aqua soil substrate because they burrow, scratch themselves on the substrate. With a bajri substrate or a marble substrate, whatever you may call it, they can hurt themselves. A true aquarium should have a natural substrate like sand, aqua soil or carbon compost soil. टैंक्स को डिफिकल्टी लेवल पे आप कैटेगराइज कर सकते हैं। सबसे आसान और सस्ता सेटअप जो है वो फ्रेश वाटर एक्वेरियम्स का है, चाहे वो प्लांटेड हो या नॉन प्लांटेड। प्लांटेड एक्वेरियम्स के लिए आपको CO2 की एडिशन भी करनी पड़ती है, लेकिन ऐसे भी सेटअप्स हैं जो कि CO2 के बगैर भी चलते हैं। इसके बाद रीफ टैंक्स। रीफ टैंक्स जो हैं वो लाइव कॉरल्स के टैंक्स होते हैं जिसके अंदर छोटे इन्वर्टेब्रेट्स और कॉरल से रिलेटेड जो फिश होती है उसको रखा जाता है। ये सबसे एक्सपेंसिव टैंक्स होते हैं बिकॉज इसकी इक्विपमेंट और इसका एक्सपीरियंस लेवल ही डिफरेंट लेवल पे, और सिर्फ एक्सपीरियंस्ड और बहुत हाई एंड हॉबीज जो हैं इसको अटेम्प्ट करते हैं। कुछ टर्म्स अगर आपको समझ नहीं है तो टेंशन ना लें, हम अगले एपिसोड्स में आपको हर टर्म तफसील से बताएंगे। हमारे शो का स्ट्रक्चर कुछ इस तरह है। इस शो के 4 हिस्से हैं। पहले हिस्से में हम बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स और प्रोसेसेस आपको समझाएंगे। दूसरे पार्ट में हम फिश ऑफ द डे जो हमारे पास गैलरी में अवेलेबल है या हम आगे लेना चाह रहे हैं उसके बारे में डॉक्यूमेंट्री दिखाएंगे। थर्ड पार्ट में हम कोई भी टैंक जो कि हमने अपनी गैलरी में सेटअप किया है या हमारे किसी सब्सक्राइबर ने हमारे साथ शेयर किया है वो फीचर करेंगे, और लास्ट पार्ट में हम आपको अपनी पर्सनल फिश गैलरी का टूर कराएंगे। सो एक वीक में आप इस तरह के 2 एपिसोड्स दे सकेंगे। उसके अलावा हमारे फिश रूम की 4 अपडेट्स, बिकॉज उसमें रेगुलरली काम हो रहा होता है, नए टैंक्स बन रहे होते हैं, नई चीज़ें इंस्टॉल हो रही होती हैं, वो देख सकेंगे। सो इन अ वीक आपको 6 वीडियोस अवेलेबल होंगे इस चैनल से, सो प्लीज सब्सक्राइब। नाउ लेट्स गो टू आवर फर्स्ट फिश रिव्यू। सिक्लेट्स किसे नहीं पसंद? उनके वाइब्रेंट कलर्स और यूनिक पर्सनैलिटीज की वजह से वो दुनिया में मशहूर है, लेकिन इन सब में से एक सिक्लेट जो कि सबसे यूनिक है, दैट इज द ब्लड रेड और सिंपली कॉल्ड पैरेट सिक्लेट। पैरेट सिक्लेट रखने से पहले सिक्लेट रखने का बेसिक नॉलेज होना जरूरी है। आपके सामने पैरेट सिक्लेट का डिटेल्ड टेबल नजर आ रहा है। इसमें इसकी केयर लेवल मीडियम है। दैट मीन्स अ मीडियम लेवल हॉबियस्ट कैन अटेम्प्ट टू कीप अ पैरेट सिक्लेट। पर्सनैलिटी इसकी सेमी एग्रेसिव है, मतलब जब ये यंग होती है तो इट इज बिट एग्रेसिव, बट एज इट एजेस इट बेलोज डाउन। कलर्स में इसके आते हैं ऑरेंज, रेड, येलो, एक टैटू भी कलर आता है, लेकिन दैट इज मैन मेड एंड इट इज अनएथिकल। इट्स लाइफ कैन बी अप टू 15 years and size up to 8 inches. It is an omnivorous fish, which means कि meat based और plant based food दोनों खाती है। Family again cichlid और minimum tank size इसका 30 gallons. So एक fish के लिए minimum 30 gallons है। That means if you keep 5 fish, then you have to have 5 into 30, 150 gallons minimum. टैंक का बेसिक डिजाइन जिसमें ये रखनी चाहिए वो कौन सा होना चाहिए? That is fresh water must have open spaces and caves. Compatibility, species only preferred or a peaceful community tank. So basically ये एक species only fish tank में भी आप रख सकते हैं कि उसमें सिर्फ यही पैरेट फिश हो, एक आध पैरेट फिश और हो, या इसके अलावा एक peaceful community tank जिसके अंदर और cichlids भी आ सकती हैं और कोई और फिश भी आप इसमें ऐड कर सकते हैं। Parrot cichlid is a man-made hybrid, which means it does not exist in the wild. अब शायद हों because हॉबियस्ट ने वाइल्ड में छोड़े होंगे, लेकिन इट डज नॉट ओरिजिनेट इन द वाइल्ड, जस्ट लाइक द फ्लावर होम। इसके पेरेंट्स के बारे में अभी भी स्पेकुलेशंस हैं, लेकिन ज़्यादातर कम्युनिटी एग्री करती है कि इट इज़ द माइडस सिक्लेट एंड द रेड हेड सिक्लेट। इट इज़ ईजी टू कंफ्यूज पैरेट सिक्लेट विद पैरेट फिश, दैट इज़ अ सॉल्ट वाटर फिश। वो एक बिल्कुल अलग फैमिली है। अगर पैरेट सिक्लेट को, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ मैन मेड हाइब्रिड, उसकी वाइल्ड एनवायरनमेंट से attach करना हो in order to make that environment in the tank, so it has to be a Central American one because both the parents जो हैं वो Central American rivers में पाए जाते हैं, both Midas and Red-headed cichlid. They swim in the middle of the tank, but खुराक की तलाश में substrate में खुदाई करके आपके substrate को mess up कर सकती है। Adults can grow up to 8 inches in size. And their color scheme is really amazing and really different because different spectrums of different wavelengths of light give out different colors in their color scheme. Parrot cichlid males जो हैं वो फीमेल से साइज में बड़े होते हैं। इस फिश का सबसे आइकॉनिक फीचर उसका खुला हुआ मुंह है। अब this is not something that nature created. This was a man-made hybrid. So this is certainly a defect. इसके दांत इसके थ्रोट में होते हैं, वो वहाँ जाके अपना फूड च्यू करती है। और इसका सबसे बड़ा ड्रॉबैक ये है कि इवन दो इसका साइज बड़ा है, ये एग्रेसिव है, लेकिन व्हेन इट कम्स टू अ फाइट इट कैन नॉट डिफेंड इटसेल्फ बिकॉज इट डजंट हैव एनी टीथ। पैरेट सिक्लेट के साथ इस हॉबी में दो अनएथिकल काम होते हैं। एक ये कि उसको ज़्यादा कलर वेरिएशंस के लिए डाई किया जाता है, जिसकी वजह से उसकी लाइफ कट डाउन हो जाती है। उसके अलावा पीपल कट ऑफ देयर टेल्स जस्ट टू मेक इट लुक लाइक अ हार्ट, विच इज़ वेरी अनएथिकल एंड हाईली डिस्टर्बिंग। अब चूंकि ये मैन मेड फिश है तो हम इसकी एक्चुअल एनवायरनमेंट रिक्रिएट नहीं कर सकते या स्टडी नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन चूंकि वी कैन ट्रैक दिस पेरेंट्स, जैसे कि माइडस सिक्लेट है, इट इज़ नेटिव टू अ सेंट्रल अमेरिकन एनवायरनमेंट, उसकी एनवायरनमेंट हम रिक्रिएट कर सकते हैं अपने टैंक्स के अंदर। सो इट नीड्स अ लॉट ऑफ ओपन स्पेस, हाइडिंग स्पेसेस एज वेल। हमने अपने टैंक के अंदर ये चीज़ें रिक्रिएट करने की कोशिश की है। अब ये फिश जो है 30 गैलन के पानी के अंदर, मतलब 30 gallons is suitable enough space for this fish, but we have kept ours in a 250 gallon tank which obviously has other cichlids as well. One thing to remember is कि आपने टैंक को ओवरक्राउड नहीं करना। अगर आप उसको ओवरक्राउड करेंगे तो ऑक्सीजन लेवल्स गिरेंगे, जिसकी वजह से फिश स्ट्रेस होगी and can lead to its death as well. Now choosing tank mates for this cichlid can be tricky because it's a man-made hybrid. उसका एक मसला ये होता है कि it has problems in adjusting to or with other fish in the tank. लेकिन with a little bit of hard work, you can make it live in a community tank with the right mix of cichlids. At this point in time, if you want to start keeping a parrot cichlid, I would prefer or I would recommend that you keep it in a single species tank and later on start adding other fish with it so that they can build chemistry and slowly and steadily adjust to an aquarium. So parrot cichlid is omnivorous, which means it accepts both meaty and vegetable based diets. So a good example of a diet for parrot cichlid would be dried shrimps, bloodworms, or even your usual pellets. But for the best colors, you can also prepare food for them yourselves like shrimps and earthworms. But you have to make sure they're prepared properly, क्योंकि इसके अंदर अगर properly you just caught them from the wild and put it in their diet, it may carry parasites which can be harmful for the fish and also for their tank mates. Now, overfeeding is another issue that people usually do. What I do is basically within 2 minutes, my fish can eat a certain amount of food. After that, you don't feed it for another 6 to 10 hours. So daily you just feed them twice and just make sure that when you put the food in, put enough amount that they can consume in only 2 minutes. That's the proper way of feeding a fish. So they are a hardy fish. ये अपना ख्याल खुद रख लेती है. You just have to make sure that you take care of the water parameters, the pH levels, the ammonia levels, and also the general hardness of the water has to be monitored weekly or even bi-weekly as well, along with weekly water changes. But if you do not take care of those things, it can easily get ill, and once it does, it is very expensive and very hard to get them back to health. So the best cure is prevention. So the most common disease in this fish is itch or white spot. This basically creates white spots about 1 millimeter in diameter on all over the fish's body. The best way to treat this is to raise the temperature of your tank to 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 28 degrees centigrade. जो भी आपके पास thermometer है उस पे जो सी reading है उस पे आप लेके जा सकते हैं. And add 1 teaspoon of salt to every 2 gallons of water. उसके अलावा the disease is called swim bladder disease. Now swim bladder disease happens a lot in these fishes, and when that happens, your fish cannot control its buoyancy. So meaning ये कि वो ऊपर नीचे अपनी मर्जी से ही जा सकती है. It will float on the surface and it will stress the fish and it will die within days. But what you can do to prevent is first separate the fish. Lower the level of your water in the tank to bring it down ताकि वो एक controlled environment में रह सके, and then stop feeding it for 3 days. After 3 days, get some peas or मटर के दाने and take off the skin. Feed those peas for about 3 days, and after 3 days start feeding it some good quality frozen food, and I'm sure you can bring it back. In fish को breed करना is highly unreliable and has little margin for success because males are infertile and that could not produce any offspring at all. Females would breed with other cichlids, but that will create another crossbreed. So if you want to breed this fish in your home aquarium, don't expect कि आपको overnight success मिल जाएगी, because at the end of the day, they're experienced breeders which have controlled facilities जिसके अंदर they can breed them successfully. Females may spawn successfully, but again, that cannot happen in your home aquarium. So is the parrot cichlid a fish for you or not? Well, on the plus side, it has great personality, vibrant colors. It can survive for a long period of time if kept in good quality water, and it also is a great addition to your community tanks. But on the downside, it can be stressed easily if one of the conditions that I discussed earlier is applied, and also it cannot fend off aggressors with its mouth. So you have to make sure that the tank mates that you choose for it are less aggressive. So tell us in the comment section, parrot cichlid रखनी चाहिए या नहीं? You can also share your fish and your tanks with us on Facebook, and we will feature it in one of our episodes in the coming weeks. So this is the giant cichlid tank. Now, the inspiration for this tank is drawn from Lake Malawi in Africa and Central American riverbeds. So the tank that we're featuring today on this episode is called the giant cichlid tank. The giant cichlid tank, we call it that because it's a 250-liter tank and it has a lot of cichlids in it. It has a measurement of 8 feet in length, 2 feet height and 2 feet in depth. Background is a rock and tree trunk का mixed theme है, which has been handcrafted on thermopore, insulating sheets and then later hardened by fiber. This is made by a company called Aqua Art, based in Pakistan. The inspiration of this tank was to have the best possible fusion of Lake Malawi in Africa and Central American rivers, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर cichlids इसी region में होती हैं. So I have provided ample hiding spaces using clay pots, although I might increase the sizes later. We have used wood and some live plants. The plants have to be hardy क्योंकि शुरू में it has to survive the fish and the new environment. The filtration used on this tank is 2000 liter per hour canister filter and a 2000 liter per hour internal filter. इसमें 500 watt का internal heater है that maintains the temperature at 26 degrees C or 78 degrees Fahrenheit, which is ideal temperature for all these fish. इसमें इस वक्त pretty rare cichlids हैं. I have parrots, Tropheus, sulphurhead, butterfly fantosa, sunshine severum, a group of Oscars, monoangel sabai, some loaches, and a pleco. I also have a dominant Jack Dempsey cichlid that owns this tank. And last but not the least, dolphin and yellowtail cichlids. If you like this tank or if you have any questions regarding this tank, please give us some comments in the comment section and also message us on the Facebook where we can reply to all your queries. Welcome to the fish gallery. We have actually created about 15 tanks here, or we have capacity 15 tanks, but we can even add some more after removing that cupboard. But come in and let me show you कि अभी तक हमने कितने tanks बनाए. So technically we have 15 tanks, out of which one will be a hospital tank and all others will be aquascaped, or it can be a saltwater tank or it can be a freshwater tank. वो depend करेगा कि हम इस season क्या करना चाह रहे हैं. लेकिन इस season mainly हमने focus ये करना है, around 40 episodes of this season हमने mainly focus करना है how to make a tank, how to aquascape it. Freshwater mainly हमारा theme होगा, लेकिन उसके अंदर we can even have a few saltwater tanks as well. So taking you to the first tank, this is the giant cichlid tank. We've reviewed this tank today. We've told you how we've made it. The main theme here is basically the stone and the tree trunk theme that we have here. This is obviously made out of fiber. I've just done a water change, जिसकी वजह से you might see थोड़ा सा पानी आपको गंदा नजर आए, but when it's crystal clear, it has amazing colors. For the lighting, we have 3 lights in here. So we have 2 lights that you can see here, and then we have the aqua light in between. So it really brings out the colors of the cichlids, and because in cichlids के colors जो हैं, that is the main thing. So उसके लिए we use the aqua light here. This I've already told you in the review. Just a note, we'll be moving the smaller fish that are below 4 inches, like this one, the sunshine cichlid. Maybe I'll keep the roaches here, but also the sulphurhead. I have a smaller sulphurhead and I have a bigger sulphurhead somewhere. Let's see, here it is. So इसको हम इधर रखेंगे. जो छोटी cichlids होंगी उसको हम mini cichlid tank में shift करेंगे. The tank right below it is another 8-footer. My theme for this will be, it is a monster fish tank. जो fish हमारे पास 1 foot तक पहुंच गई तो वो हम इसमें डालेंगे, and it's going to be either a bareback or a small thin layer of black sand, and without any decorations, because you know with big fish you cannot put any decoration whatsoever. So abhi right now we have a few mad barbs or sultan fish. We have a giant gurami. She's been with me for about 6 months and I've named her Mariam. We have mono angel sabai, but it's currently a holding tank for her because we're going to be shifting it to the mini cichlid tank, and that's about it. So we also have another paku. It's a giant paku, and maybe we'll be bringing him in as well, but still that is something that we're hoping for. But right now we have the gurami in there. Okay, coming on to the next 8-footer, we have the arowana tank. It is themed after the Amazonian riverbed. We have installed the background of a rock wall that we can somehow relate to that environment, and we have 3 silver arowanas in there, all about 1 feet in length. I had 1 before, लेकिन अब ये है कि arowanas आपने हमेशा odd number में रखने हैं, because if you keep 2 they keep fighting with each other. Somehow or the other, that's the logic in the community. You have to keep 3. Below that, this will be the mini cichlid tank. It's currently a holding tank for paku, piranha pakus, and I wanted to get piranhas, but I couldn't get them, so I got the next best thing. These are pakus. They become huge fish, so by the time they get to that size, I might be switching them over with something else. Then we have some jewel cichlid here. We have the blue scara cichlid here as well, and this will be our hospital tank. So any fish that gets sick, we'll be putting it in there, and obviously we'll be creating the right environment for those. Then on the other side, we have tanks installed, but if you can see, we don't have any fish right now. This is currently just water put in there. This is we're testing it for leakages or anything, because these are new tanks that I built, and we have put it directly in there. The best thing, the really special thing about the second tank here, if you see, you'll see a splitter here, right? So this is going to be specifically based on a turtle tank. So हम ये turtle tank बनाएंगे जिसके अंदर this side will be rocks, and obviously eventually इधर एक beach बनेगा, and we'll have some sort of a glass here that can actually take the turtle down when it wants to, and it will come back up, or the basking lamp लगा होगा, and you know, so this will be a proper aquarium. It might have some fish, and it will be properly aquascaped. The turtle will come down, spend some time here, go back up, get some sun, and come back down. So that's what we're looking for this one. This tank, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, but I might be keeping a single species flower horn in here. Right now I have a flower horn, but it's a Sansu bloodline. I might be keeping a Kampha bloodline, that has better defined head. So this one, if you look at it, this is a resident flower horn, and he is pretty interactive. और इसका नाम जो हमने रखा हुआ है, he is, well, the behavior is Nawaz, so I'm actually naming him Nawaz, and he's a pretty young flower horn at the moment. He still has a long way to go, and the tank that we've made for him is basically, I've themed it after the Lord of the Rings segment that you can see there, with black sand and black rocks, and you know, some wallpaper, if you can see behind it. It has a bit of algae, which we'll be cleaning, and we'll be showing you how to clean some brown algae there. Okay, so the next tank is basically my first tank that I actually ever had, and this was actually a Lion King tank. We had a green, lush green, you know, substrate, aqua soil, and then we had plants, the leaf plants here, 2-leaf grass that we have, but somehow, because it has a window behind, and I forgot for a couple of days, it had sunlight shining on it. Uski wajah se it got some brown algae, and then I got a few Chinese algae eaters. I got a group of them, 6 of them actually, and I put them in, and it was completely blank. If you can look at it, it's still dirty, but it was completely blank. I mean, you couldn't see what was in there. But the Chinese fish has been in there for about 2 days, and they have, I mean, done a really good job. And I'm going to actually leave it for a while, about maybe a week or more, and then once it is done, I'm going to put in some more grass, but this time I'll be putting in dwarf grass. Okay, so this tank is currently empty, but in the future we'll be making it a forest tank. The forest tank theme is basically with a lush substrate, lush ground, and you'll have tree stems in between, and we'll be keeping some mollies in there, or some other small fish, but it's going to be really pretty. Coming up to the next tank, this is basically the Loch Ness Monster tank. If you look at the wood that we have placed in here, this is exactly shaped as a Loch Ness Monster. You can Google it if you want to. The background that I have is a brick background, sorry, not a brick background, but some rocky wall background that you see underwater. And I have the community of fish जो मेरे पास इसमें available है वो it's basically tetras. I have a barb, I have some silver dollar, and then we have 2 Chinese algae eaters in here as well. They have done a really good job, because पीछे कुछ टाइम पहले जो पीछे वाली wall थी वो सारी की सारी algae covered थी, and now if you can see, if you can come closer, the wall is completely algae free. We have a small bit of it here, but what I can clean it off right away, but what I want is I want to see the real potential of the Chinese algae eater, what it does and how it does it. So the rock was also covered with algae. If you can see, the rock is even clean right now. So this is basically a very beautiful tank that I made, and I think we'll keep it this season, and next season we'll be changing it. Below, again, empty tanks, and we're currently working on this. And if you come over to this side, so this tank is basically a 110 gallon 6-foot tank, and it has a D-shaped bow. So basically it is a curved tank, and this is going to be our discus tank. So we have ordered some discus, and it will be coming in about a week or so. This, if you look at the background, I'm not sure if you can see because it's still dirty. We have a ट्री ट्रंक बैकग्राउंड, जिसके अंदर बेसिकली हमने एक एनवायरनमेंट रिक्रिएट करने की कोशिश की है, बिकॉज डिस्कस हैज़ ट्री ट्रंक्स एंड उसकी उनकी जो एनवायरनमेंट होती है वो ज़्यादातर वुड और प्लांटेड टैंक्स होती है. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट वी हैव डन, एंड वी हैव कलेक्टेड सम नेचुरल आइटम्स लाइक जो वुड शेविंग्स होती हैं वो हमारे पास हैं, सब कुछ है. सो वो हम आहिस्ता आहिस्ता इसमें लगाना शुरू करेंगे. हम वी गोना शो ईच एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड देन वंस इट्स रेडी वी गोना गिव यू अ फुल रिव्यू ऑफ द टैंक एंड द डिस्कस एज वेल. So that was from the gallery today so far. As you can see, it's all a beginning, and we would like you to stay with us, see how we do aquascaping with each and every tank, and I would like you to also subscribe so that you get each and every update. Also remember to click on the bell icon so that whenever we upload a new episode you can be notified as well. So thank you so much for joining in, and I really appreciate your support, and keep supporting us so that we can expand this gallery into other rooms that I have available at this facility. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.